So today, I'm in the 2023 Toyota Corolla Hybrid. This is the XLE trim, but Corolla Hybrid is one of their lower priced hybrids, but also, it's just a four-door, small, simple family sedan that doesn't have a ton of bells and whistles in it, but is everything it really needs to be. This review is probably going to be shorter than some of my other ones because there's not a ton of bells and whistles on this thing, but what it lacks in all the fancy features, it makes up for in pure simplicity and efficiency. So let's jump in quick to the 2023 Corolla Hybrid. Hello and welcome back to techgooch, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in another 2023 Toyota. Like I said, this is the Corolla Hybrid. So this has Toyota's 1.8 liter engine coupled with their full hybrid technology and the variable transmission. It is quite a pleasant vehicle to drive. I'll be honest about it. More than anything, I have been, and I understand when you get a vehicle when it has a rated of what its efficiency is, in this case 50 overall miles to the gallon. I think it's 46 on the highway and like 54 in the city. Now, I was getting on average on what I've been using it about 55 in the city, and that's without hammering on it, right? And then using cruise control on highway and interstate, and I took this on a small little trip, couple hundred miles round trip, about 50. It was like just shy of 50, like 49.8 average on that trip. So when it comes down to this vehicle and what it can do for being what it is, it's quite economical to drive, and that's the big thing. I understand when you buy a vehicle, the sticker price and how much your monthly payment is going to be is always key, right? You always have to understand that you have to make sure that it's within your budget to purchase the vehicle that you have to purchase. But I am one of those people that always looks at what's the roadmap, what's this thing's going to cost me down the road, right? How much is it going to cost me per month to drive it, or per week, if that case. And this vehicle hits that run of 50 overall miles to the gallon. And it gets it. Right now on a combined between the highway and in-town use, I'm sitting at 50 and a half. So yes, it hits exactly what they say it's going to hit, and it's a comfortable one too. So when you'll be going down small roads, and it'll go just in EV mode, and it's really quiet. Now, it's still what I would say is a lower priced vehicle, right? It's a more entry-level vehicle, so it's not going to be quite as quiet as some of the luxury vehicles out there, but you wouldn't expect that. So a little bit more road noise, but in all reality, even the lane guidance in this on the highway, that when I drove on my trip, it did a really good job of keeping centered in the lane all by itself. Now, of course, you have to have your hands on the wheel, and it will tell you, hey, make sure you're paying attention, because I tested it. But it wasn't annoying at all, and it actually did a pretty good job of actually keeping centered in the lane. That's one of those things that not every vehicle does very well, and if you've really played around with it, it's great to have a vehicle when it does it correctly. This vehicle actually does it correctly. So yeah, this does not have a whole bunch of bells and whistles. So right now we're going to jump outside. We're going to do the walk around on the outside. We're going to go over the guts on the inside here, and then yeah, we'll even check to see how many pieces of luggage we can fit in the trunk. So sit back, relax, let's jump outside. Okay, so here we go from the front here. To be honest, it's a good looking small sedan. It really is. Nothing too fancy on the outside here. Pretty straightforward. Nice aluminum wheels on this specific trim. Corolla XLE Hybrid badge. It's a good looking vehicle. It really is. There's nothing wrong with this. Now, you're not going to get all the cameras and everything like that. We will have a backup camera, but all in all, it's a good looking, simple car. So this color as well is a dark gray color is what they call it. Just simple dark gray. We do have power seats here. Just standard power seats, nothing fancy there. But let's go ahead and get in. Yeah, I rolled down a window there. Okay, so door controls, standard door controls, standard there, auto high beams in here as well. Knock that down so you can see a little better. Light control, open up the gas door. We do have a digital instrument cluster here. That's very simple, but it's really easy to read, where you can see if we're charging, if we're braking essentially. We can go into you can see the eco mode and then the power mode. So as you're driving, it does indicate what's going on. You can see right now my average 50.5 miles to the gallon in total, sitting really, really well. Steering wheel controls are your standard stuff, right? We'll have simple stuff that we can do up here with the left side. Well, let's go this way. Driving scores, driving ratio, just simple stuff. And yes, we'll have different pages within each of these, right? So we can cycle through. But yeah, that's the nuts and bolts of that. Do have music control and stuff, and then your cruise control and everything over here. Pretty basic, right? Nothing too fancy there. We do have a nice small, I believe it's an 8-inch screen on here. It does have, you can see CarPlay. It is wireless CarPlay. If we go back to the main menu, it's going to be what you're used to seeing in pretty much all Toyota vehicles. It's the same exact, and there's the book I'm listening to right now. It's the same stuff, nothing too fancy here. It's the standard Toyota package, and then of course wireless CarPlay. It's kind of funny that when you run into some, even like most, like up-to-date EVs that don't have wireless CarPlay, it's just weird. We do have standard climate controls. This is not going to have dual climate. It's just going to have single climate on this one, but your standard controls here, nothing fancy. Now, moving down below, we have a wireless Qi charger back here. You do have to turn, there's a button to turn it on or off. And you'll notice on this one, there's a lot more physical buttons than digital things. So for instance, seat heaters, physical buttons, high, low. I like this because you can set it and forget it. But the bad thing is that, let's say a passenger comes and uses it and you're not paying attention and they leave it on, well, it could just keep running until you click that switch. So just so you know, USB-C connection for the radio, so that's there. We do have our drive mode. I don't know how, there we go. We do have an EV mode, traction control off, and drive mode. If I click on this, it's basically between eco and non-eco mode. So you can choose whether or not to be in eco mode or not. If I choose the EV mode, you can see in the left there, right there, EV mode will kick on and off. So there's that. Electric parking brake, couple of cup holders. I do have a couple of glasses in here. There is a USB-C charger and a 12 volt in the center console. Not too deep. Just have some sunglasses in there right now. This is nice though. Even though where it is right now, you can kind of see I can slide it forward, and that gives me a little more comfort when I'm driving. But it does cover that second cup holder there, so I do like to point that out. Standard vents. And then we do have a standard glove box. Nothing fancy in that regard either. In this trim, we do have a sunroof. It is a standard sunroof. Controls here. So you can open it. So, and then a vent here. Yeah, vent right there. So there we go. And then, of course, just manual closing or opening. Nothing fancy. All right, let's jump into the back seat. Okay. Back seat. Now I do have the driver's seat back where I normally drive, and I'm 5'11". Back seat, plenty of room for adults in the back seat. I have pretty long legs for my 5'11" build, but that's simple. Window controls, door handles, 2 USB-C chargers, and right here, 2 cup holders if we don't need to use the center seat. So nothing fancy. It is exactly what it needs to be, and that's it. So let's look at the trunk. Okay, trunk. Also non-power, just trunk, right? But to be honest, for what it is, it's actually decently sized. I haven't actually looked under here if there is anything. Yep, just the standard stuff. No spare, but it looks like our emergency tire puncture kit and pump. So, and then the tow bar there. So there we go. That's the trunk. All right, let's look at the engine compartment. No gas shocks. There's still the standard stick, and there it is up there. It's actually attached to the hood. Easy access to the battery, and there's our engine. Pretty solid, easy to get to the fuses as well. So yeah, there we go. Okay, let's find out how many suitcases we can fit in the trunk. Now these are carry-on sizes, all of them are. That's 4. Can I get the 5th one? I think I can. Oh yeah, 5 for sure. Here comes 6. And that's all I have. Now if I go all the way over, well, that bar just grazes it barely. I think you can get 6. Plus some other bags on top. You still have room up here. 6. That's awesome. So that is the 2023 Toyota Corolla Hybrid. Again, this is the XLE trim. The base model I think starts at about 26.6, give or take. This specific model right here where it sits is running at 29.2. I have been doing a lot of reviews all over the map. A lot of them being more limited or premium trim vehicles. This specific vehicle, when I actually showed up on my driveway, I was kind of like, looks like a standard Corolla, nothing fancy, you know. And we'll get into it. And within the first day of driving, it's just an enjoyable vehicle to drive. It is just a standard vehicle, nothing too fancy. Now, of course, I love technology. I love larger screens. I love all that stuff. But if it's not in your price point, it's not in your price point. This is a nice vehicle at its price point. It is comfortable to drive, but the big thing is that efficiency that you get with this specific hybrid engine is great. Absolutely lovely. It works quite fantastic. It is extremely pleasurable to drive on all accounts, including the highway. Now, I'm not going to tell you that it's going to beat anybody on anything. It's not a 0 to 60 king by any means, but it has enough power to run on the interstate at 75 without feeling like it's dogging down at all. So all in all, where this vehicle sits is a really nice small family car. It really is. It's extremely comfortable to drive, but it's extremely efficient, and it looks good to boot. So if you're looking for that, if you don't want to break the bank, this is a really nice vehicle to look at. Now, this one has the JBL speaker package, which takes it from 6 to 9 speakers in the JBL sound spectrum, which they sound good. They do. Are they amazing? No, I've heard better, but JBL sound actually is pretty nice. It does have a good quality audio to it, and that's what Toyota pretty much does on all their nicer trims when you get into the JBL speaker package. I'm not going to say that you need it, but it definitely will make it a little more enjoyable to rock out. So that is the 2023 Toyota Corolla Hybrid. I like it. I like it a lot. If I was in the realm for that small sedan, I would consider this. It actually is nice. Of course, it all depends on what you're looking for, where your price point is, and how many people you need to get in here. But all in all, I give this vehicle, for where it sits, 2 thumbs up. I do like it. I've enjoyed driving it for the last week, including on my trip. So thanks, Toyota, for making another solid vehicle. There's not too many vehicles that Toyota makes that I don't have respect for. There's just not that many. And this one, where it sits, it's right on the money. So thank you for watching to the end. Obviously, if you're interested in this specific vehicle, go see your local Toyota dealership and see if you can't get in one to take a test drive. It's definitely worth it, and it'll open your eyes real quick whether or not it's the vehicle for you, specifically with the hybrid drivetrain. I think they've refined it to the point where their hybrid drivetrain is fantastic, and it's just going to bridge the gap between here and when EVs become full mainstream. But in all reality, efficiency on this thing is fantastic. So thank you for watching to the end. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Catch you back here on Tech Gooch for another future video review. We'll see you soon.